Mobile homes versus tiny homes, what's the difference? In this video, I want to quickly go over the top two standards that most tiny homes are built to. The vast majority of mobile homes are going to be HUD certified. So if you don't know, HUD stands for Housing and Urban Development. Becoming a HUD certified builder is so intense because it's very much government regulated. Most builders either are HUD or RV or modular. It's very difficult to have both of those under one roof, under one company. So you'll see a lot of companies like Clayton Homes, for example, who are out there building mobile homes. Most tiny homes you see are not going to be HUD certified. There are some benefits to HUD certification homes in that they can be put in a lot more places throughout the country. A lot of HUD homes actually qualify for full-time living loans. So you see a lot of banks that are willing to do financing for a HUD home. Now, the quality, getting into the quality of a HUD, for the most part, most HUD homes are bulk square feet. So the manufacturers are trying to get as much square feet as they can while keeping the price low. And don't get me wrong, those absolutely have a place, but typically not in the tiny house world. Most people who want a tiny house want a compact design, but they want the square feet that they're moving into to be higher quality. In other words, they last for a long time. If you go into a lot of older mobile homes, you'll notice that they're already starting to deteriorate. So if you are considering a HUD home, just know that the price of the home is kept low and so is the materials. So the profit can be made and you can have a home for a relatively affordable price. And when I say affordable, I've looked at mobile homes and by the time they get delivered, they get set up, all these things, they tend to be the same price of an actual home. The price really starts to escalate when you start looking at all the hidden costs and the site prep and all that. So it kind of goes back to, there are some benefits for a tiny house. Just to kind of summarize with all that, if you look at the sticker price of a HUD home, the sticker price is going to be very low, but by the time you start tacking on all the add-ons and the costs that it takes to go down the road and have a Riley car and the setup and all that, it really starts to add up and can almost double the price of the HUD home. The last point I want to make about HUD homes is the mobility of the home. So typically the way they're constructed, they're meant for one-time travel. They're just not built to make more than one move. A lot of tiny house people tend to be more mobile and want to take their homes with them. You can't necessarily do that with a HUD home, and the exorbitant cost to have it delivered and set it up. It takes an entire team, sometimes a full day, to set it up permanently into place. So if you're looking to buy a home that is going to be mobile, a mobile home, funny enough, is not really a good way to go. So just to kind of recap on that, HUD homes typically are built to a lower standard to keep the prices down. They're government restricted and mandated. You can tend to get better loans. There's a lot of loans that are available for a HUD home, and the mobility is going to be far less great than a tiny home. So moving on to tiny homes, the ones that we build and all the ones that we've sold through our website, the price of a tiny home tends to be more per square feet, and the reason is just based out of sheer quality. A lot of times tiny homes are built to a higher standard than actual homes. They are built for mobility, multiple uses, multiple trips, and that really reflects the housing bust of 2008, 2009. A lot of people started becoming more mobile. They can work from anywhere, and it makes sense to have a housing category that kind of aligned and paralleled with that. A home that's going to be moved multiple times, like a tiny house, has to be built to a very high standard. And so the price per square feet for a tiny house tends to be more. So you get less square feet that cost the same as a mobile home, if not a little bit more. Tiny homes are absolutely built for mobility. This particular tiny house, it is going to most likely Washington State, and we're in North Carolina. And once it makes it to Washington, if they sell it or if they move, they could take it to another place. And the reason that is because it's built to a very high standard versus a HUD home, which is they build it and hopefully get it to the location in one piece. So tiny homes typically come in two certifications, NC 119.5, which is essentially a park model, and then NFPA 1192, which is essentially an RV. And it's important to know the difference between the two and which one to select, because that kind of segues into the type of financing you'll get. So both of those are kind of limited to guidelines. An park model can't be more than 399 square feet. And for the most part, they're meant for secondary housing, not full-time living. And an NFPA 1192 can't be more than 320 square feet, and you can only be 8.5 feet wide. Now, if they find out that you're moving and living in it full time, that could create some problems for both certifications. So that's something you have to navigate with a builder like us or whoever tiny house builder you go through. And there's different loan products for each certification. And that's something that a qualified builder like Tiny House Listings, or there's many others as well, will help you navigate through. I know this is a lot different than buying a traditional house because you typically find a piece of land that has a house on it, or you build a house on it and you're walked through it by the real estate agent, the mortgage broker, and all that. There's a little bit more to learn on the upfront when it comes to buying a tiny house and the financing, but it's definitely manageable and navigable. So there you have it, the difference between HUD homes, aka mobile homes, and tiny homes. So just to summarize, Mobile homes are great for people who want a lot of square feet for cheap. They want to be able to put it on a piece of land that is allowed. For example, anywhere that's HUD certified. And it's for people who want to have a house and they do not plan to move it, really, ever. And then a tiny house is for people who want more quality square feet, but it's gonna be more mobile. So that if they decide that they wanna move their house in the future, they'll be able to take it with them. So those are the main differences, and I hope this helped. So if you need an expert to help walk you through all this, or help understand how it all works, or even get you started in the process of buying or building a tiny house, you can email us at build@tinyhouselistings.com, or go to our website to learn more at tinyhouselistings.build. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.